Have you ever felt that small, wet lick on your hand or face and thought, oh, he's showing love? Or maybe you've wondered, why does my dog do this so often? Sometimes it's gentle and sweet, other times it's almost desperate, like they're trying to tell you something urgent. We humans often translate it as affection, a kiss in the dog world. But the truth? The reason your dog licks you goes far deeper than simple love. It's emotional, it's instinctive, and sometimes it's their silent way of revealing what's really happening inside their heart and mind. Let's take a step back. Long before dogs became our family, in the wild, wolves and their pups had a ritual. When the adults returned from a hunt, the young pups would lick around their mouths, begging for food. It was an instinctive behavior, survival-based. But it was also an early form of communication. Over thousands of years, as wolves evolved into dogs, that simple act of licking changed meaning. It wasn't about hunger anymore. It became about connection, reassurance, and bonding. Today, when your dog licks you, they're not asking for food. They're saying something deeper. Sometimes that lick is a sign of comfort. Dogs can sense your emotions far more than you realize. When you're stressed, anxious, or sad, their instinct is to comfort you. And licking becomes one of the ways they do it. It's almost like they're trying to say, I'm here. You're not alone. Studies have shown that dogs release oxytocin, the same hormone that strengthens bonds between parents and children, when they lick or make gentle contact with their humans. So when your dog licks your hand after a long, hard day, that simple gesture is actually releasing calming chemicals in both of you. That's not just love, that's empathy in its purest form. But not every lick means the same thing. There's affection, yes. But sometimes licking is a sign of submission or respect. In dog language, lower-ranking members often lick higher-ranking ones to show trust and acceptance. So, when your dog licks your face or hand, it might be their way of saying, you're my leader. I trust you. This isn't about dominance, it's about reassurance. They look up to you, quite literally, as their protector and guide in the world. There's also the sensory side. Your dog experiences the world through taste and smell. Your skin carries unique scents, tiny traces of sweat, natural oils, all of which tell them stories about you. What you've eaten, where you've been, how you feel. To your dog, every lick is a mini exploration, like reading your diary through taste. When they lick your arm or your leg after you come home, they're not just being affectionate. They're catching up on your day in their own special way. But here's where it gets fascinating. Some dogs lick excessively, not just you, but furniture, blankets, or even themselves. This can be a form of stress relief. Just like humans might bite nails or fidget, dogs sometimes lick to soothe anxiety. It's repetitive, rhythmic, and calming. If your dog licks you constantly, even when you're not giving attention, it might be their way of coping with separation anxiety or emotional tension. In their mind, it's a way to release that bottled-up stress, and your presence makes them feel grounded again. And then there's that moment, when you come home after hours, and they rush to you, tail wagging like crazy, jumping, whining, and licking every inch of your hands and face. That's not just excitement, that's relief. In their heart, they've been waiting, missing you, counting moments in their own way. That burst of licking, it's their emotional release, a way of saying, you're finally back. I was worried. I missed you. Sometimes, though, the lick carries a different tone. Have you noticed your dog licking you when you're crying, or even pretending to cry? Many dog owners have tested this, and the results are heartwarming. When they fake distress, their dogs often react immediately, approaching, licking, whining, or pawing gently. Why? Because dogs are emotionally attuned to your energy. They can sense sadness through your voice, body posture, and even changes in your scent caused by stress hormones like cortisol. To them, licking isn't just affection. It's an instinctive response to comfort you, to make sure you're okay. But let's be honest, sometimes it's also just about taste. Human skin can be a little salty from sweat, and dogs enjoy that. That's why after exercise, or on a hot day, your dog might start licking your arm or legs more than usual. It's natural, part curiosity, part pleasure. Yet even then, it's more than just the salt. It's the ritual, the routine, the bond they feel in that shared moment. It's also interesting how dogs learn when licking is appropriate. As puppies, they lick their mothers and littermates constantly. That's how they bond, seek comfort, and learn boundaries. But as they grow and live with humans, they start to adapt to your reactions. If you smile, pet them, or laugh when they lick, that behavior gets reinforced. They realize, oh, this makes my human happy. And so, they do it again. Not just instinctively, but intentionally. Because making you happy gives them joy too. In fact, Researchers have observed that dogs' licking behavior releases dopamine and endorphins, chemicals associated with happiness and calmness. It's literally rewarding for them, a positive feedback loop of affection and trust. They lick, you smile, they feel good, and the cycle continues. It's one of the purest, most primal forms of connection between two species. Yet there's another layer, one we often overlook. Sometimes a dog will lick to apologize. If they've done something wrong, chewed a shoe, knocked something over, or maybe you raised your voice, they may approach you cautiously, head low, and give a small, submissive lick. That's their way of saying, "I didn't mean to upset you." It's not guilt in the human sense, it's reconciliation, their instinct to restore peace in the pack. But it's not all emotional or symbolic. Licking also has physical functions. Dogs groom themselves and each other for hygiene and healing. Their saliva contains mild antibacterial properties, and in packs, they lick wounds to clean them. So, when your dog licks a small scrape on your hand, it might be both instinct and affection combined, caring for you as they would for another member of their pack. Still, the real magic lies in when and how your dog licks you. Think about it. They don't do it all the time, or to everyone. They reserve that behavior for people they feel deeply bonded with. When your dog licks you gently after you've been quiet, or rests their head near your lap and gives one slow lick, that's not random, that's emotion. It's trust. It's their heart speaking through action, not words. But like all forms of communication, balance matters. A dog that licks constantly, obsessively, or in patterns could be trying to tell you something more serious: discomfort, anxiety, or even illness. Excessive licking, especially when directed at themselves, can be a red flag for stress, skin irritation, or digestive problems. That's why it's important to notice when it happens, how often, and what triggers it. Still, for most dogs, licking remains one of their purest ways to show connection. They can't write you a letter, they can't say, "I missed you," and they can't hug you, but that soft lick on your hand, that look in their eyes, that quiet sigh afterward, that's their way of saying it all. And perhaps that's what makes it so special. In a world full of noise and words, your dog communicates through touch, through action, through the smallest gestures that carry the biggest emotions. So the next time your dog licks you, don't just wipe it away. Pause for a moment, feel it. Because in that single act lies thousands of years of trust, instinct, and unconditional love, all rolled into one simple, tender gesture. But have you ever wondered why some dogs lick a lot, while others almost never do? The difference lies in personality, upbringing, and emotional wiring. Just like humans, every dog has its own way of expressing affection. Some are touchy and expressive. They want to show love through licks, cuddles, and closeness. Others express love through presence, simply sitting near you, watching you, or resting quietly at your feet. They might not lick much, but their bond runs just as deep. If your dog doesn't lick you often, it doesn't mean they don't love you. It might simply mean they express it differently. Dogs, just like people, have emotional boundaries, and some are more subtle in showing their affection. Maybe your dog prefers leaning on you, resting their chin on your lap, or wagging their tail every time they see you. That's their language of love. But for the dogs who do lick, their timing, intensity, and focus can tell you so much about their emotions. When your dog gives you short, gentle licks, that's reassurance. When they lick quickly and repeatedly, especially around your mouth or hands, it's a mixture of excitement and devotion. It's almost their version of saying, "You're here, you're mine, and I'm happy again." And when they pause, look into your eyes, and then give one slow lick, that's a sign of comfort, of peace, of trust. There's also something incredibly poetic about how licking connects to memory. Dogs remember through scent, taste, and touch, not visuals or words like we do. That means when your dog licks you, they're not just reacting to the present, they're also recalling moments of comfort, love, and familiarity that are tied to your scent and skin. In a way, every lick is a reminder. This is my person. Have you ever noticed how dogs lick babies or small children differently? There's a kind of gentleness, almost a protective rhythm in those licks. That's their nurturing instinct surfacing. The same instinct they'd show toward their pups. They sense vulnerability and respond with care. It's one of the clearest windows into the empathy dogs naturally possess. Not taught, not trained, just deeply rooted in who they are. And if we pay attention, we start to see patterns. Dogs lick when they're happy. They lick when they're nervous. They lick when they're trying to understand something. To them, it's a language made of instinct and emotion. When a dog licks your hand and then rests their head on it, it's almost a full sentence in dog language. I trust you. I'm safe. I'm yours. Sometimes, though, dogs learn to use licking as a way to communicate their needs. They might lick you when they want food, when they're asking for playtime, or when they need attention. Over time, they figure out what works, how to get your focus and affection. You become their emotional anchor, and licking becomes part of that dialogue. It's not manipulation, it's communication. The same way we use words, they use gestures. But let's talk about what happens when a dog licks too much, obsessively, even to the point of frustration. This can be an emotional imbalance, often tied to anxiety or boredom. Some dogs develop repetitive licking habits, much like humans develop repetitive thoughts or behaviors under stress. They may lick you, furniture, or their own paws to self-soothe. When you notice this happening often, it's worth checking the root cause. Sometimes they're simply anxious from being left alone, or they're not getting enough physical or mental stimulation. In those cases, the best thing you can do is help them redirect that energy. More walks, playtime, and affection can work wonders. When your dog feels emotionally fulfilled, their need to lick constantly often fades away. Remember, most of their actions are connected to how they feel, and their feelings are deeply tied to you. There's another, subtler reason your dog might lick you. They can literally smell your emotions. Scientists have discovered that dogs can detect hormonal changes through scent, meaning they can sense when you're stressed, happy, or sad. Your skin releases tiny chemical signals called pheromones. When your dog licks you, they're decoding that chemical story. It's like tasting your emotions, understanding you in a way even humans can't. This connection goes beyond science. It's spiritual, almost ancient, because long before words, before leashes, before fenced yards or dog food, there was something timeless, a bond built through simple, physical contact. When your dog licks you, it's a gesture that transcends the centuries that separate us from wolves. It's the same gesture that kept packs united, pups safe, and bonds unbroken. You are their pack now, their family, their constant. Sometimes you'll find that your dog licks you when you least expect it, when you're not paying attention, when you're quiet or lost in thought. They walk over, give one small lick, and then move away. It's like a soft reminder, hey, I'm here, don't forget me. Dogs live in the present, but they're always aware of your energy. If you feel distant, distracted, or sad, they pick up on that. And that one simple lick becomes their way of pulling you back into connection. If we really think about it, that act of licking is one of the last remaining ways dogs physically express everything they can't say. Gratitude, worry, comfort, joy, apology, all packed into one instinctive motion. That's why it's so important to pay attention, to notice the context. Licking before bed? Maybe they're saying goodnight. Licking when you cry? Maybe they're trying to heal your heart. Licking when you laugh? Maybe they're joining your happiness. Every scenario carries a different meaning, and once you start recognizing it, you'll realize your dog's been talking to you all along. The more you observe your dog, the clearer their emotional world becomes. You'll notice that they don't just lick randomly. It's timed, intentional, responsive. It happens when there's emotion in the air, and if you ever notice that they stop licking entirely, it could also mean something. Withdrawal, sadness, illness, or even confusion. Dogs mirror your emotions, so if their behavior shifts, it's worth checking not only their health, but also your own energy. Think about it. How many times have you walked into a room upset, only for your dog to quietly come to you, sit down, and lick your hand once? That single act can dissolve tension instantly. It's not magic, it's empathy. Dogs are emotional sponges, constantly reading us, reacting to us, grounding us. And licking is one of their ways of absorbing that emotion, turning your stress into calm, your worry into connection. And perhaps that's what makes dogs so extraordinary. They don't just live with us, they live through us. Our moods shape their world. Our energy becomes their atmosphere. When they lick you, it's not just affection, it's alignment, a moment where your emotional frequencies match. You feel seen, they feel connected, and for that brief second, everything makes sense. So the next time your dog licks you, don't rush to push them away or laugh it off. Watch their eyes, their posture, their breathing. You'll see so much more than just a wet nose and a wagging tail. You'll see love in its purest wordless form, the kind that doesn't need translation. Because in the end, your dog's licks are not random habits. They're their voice, their comfort, their way of saying, I know you, I love you, and I'm always here. So let them speak in their language. Let them remind you, in their own quiet way, that love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it just needs a gentle, warm lick on your hand.